Okay. Well, first off, it's a very short turnaround for us. But one, we need to get used to things like this. And playing against a team like this is going to be a tremendous challenge in a lot of ways. They bring in some things that not only have we not seen this year, but I'm not sure we've seen it at any point in time. I don't know if we've ever seen a fast break come into Assembly Hall in our time here like we're going to see tomorrow night. Their transition is literally second to none. It always is with Roy Williams' teams. We saw it firsthand when we were at Marquette and he was at Kansas and we played in the Final Four, and it was, as hard as we prepared for it, it was unlike anything we'd seen. And I think that's the way that they are right now. And the other thing that they bring outside of tremendous talent is James McAdoo is as good of a rebounder, especially on the offensive end, that we will have seen, that these young men will have seen this year or any other year, in our estimation. I mean, they are at a high level, and they're deep. They shoot the ball. They've got a couple of guys that, arguably in Hairston and Bullock, that could shoot with anybody in the country. They've got 2 point guards that can push the ball, that can get to the lane, that can shoot the ball. They've got a good mix of older and younger, and then obviously they're coached by a Hall of Famer, and you can't take any of that lightly. So it is a tremendous challenge. I'm glad we're playing, though. Right now, I know we're probably a little tired after playing last night, but at the same time, there's going to be tremendous energy and excitement in here tomorrow night, and our guys are locked in, and that's what's most important. So it wouldn't matter if you're getting ready in 2 days or getting ready in a week. When you see Carolina on the floor, it's a whole other level with the way that they get up and down the court. So we've got to be really, really good tomorrow night in a lot of facets of the game. But this thing will begin and end with our ability to get back on defense and our ability to rebound.
What did they learn in New York that helped last night, and what did they learn last night that's going to help against Carolina?
You have to ask them. I mean, they're just getting better. I mean, everybody's just kind of getting better. We go from the films that we had. I would just think that they're probably in a situation where they're winning games different ways. Our defense has been pretty consistent. It was really consistent last night. Our deflections were high. Our 3 stops in a row were high. Our field goal percentage, our 3-point percentage was phenomenal. And our guys played with a lot of relentless pressure last night. They really did. And it was a great win because everybody contributed, and they were really committed to playing a great game, and they did.
You mentioned their break. I mean, obviously they've got a ton of athleticism. They just want to push it. But what makes their break something different? What makes it something that's going to be?
Well, I think the push is really, really important, and the fact that they can run 2 high-level shooters to the corners. A lot of people, you have to prepare for, will run for layups and dunks. You have to do that with North Carolina. Teams that aren't committed to running, and we get like this once in a while, and this is what we're always trying to break. Teams that aren't committed to running run to the wings. They run to the corners, and you have to guard them in the corners. So it's not like you can just go back and get in your normal help defensive routine and roll against them. You've got to go get to the corners. Everybody on their break is a legitimate threat to score. They do a great job of getting underneath the basket if the first post doesn't get it in the post. And then McAdoo is unlike anything we've seen with his ability to rebound out of the break. They are a phenomenal, not only transition team, but transition rebounding team. And McAdoo leads the way with that. So it's never over. It's never over. If they don't score quick, if they don't get a layup or an open 3, you've got to really be able to guard against the second shot because McAdoo just comes, is the trailer in a full head of steam.
Tom, as fast as this game is probably going to be played, is it a challenge to stay in control? You've got to play fast, but keeping the control as well so you don't go too fast? Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. But, I mean, it's going to be a fast-paced game, but, I mean, absolutely. You know, we've got a lot of different guys that can score. They have a lot of different guys that can score, and our defense is going to be challenged. There's no doubt about it, but it has been. It's been challenged by a lot of different people already this year. Our guys are getting better. I mean, they're getting better all the time. That's the most important thing. But we will not have been challenged in transition like we're going to be tomorrow. I can't imagine any time that we've been here that it's been like that for us at home or on the road like this. I mean, we've gone against some great break teams. Michigan State, Michigan. You know, those teams run really well. Kentucky ran well last year. But this Carolina team is at another level.
You mentioned McAdoo a couple times and his rebounding ability. What are the keys to limiting that and stopping him from getting those second?
You have a body on him. You got to have great awareness of where he's at. And you've got to have a body on him, and he just can't fly around untouched. And because he can score from the perimeter, obviously he can score at the block. He can drive the ball. I mean, he's a high level player. But he's got I don't know him, but he looks like he's got a great motor, and he revs it up, and we've got to make sure that we're always aware of where he's at.
Tom, when you look at the Butler tape, what did Butler do, and what can you take out of that maybe translates?
Butler got off to a great start. They were very physical with him, and they made shots, and they did a really good job in transition. The other thing that Carolina is, and I think Coach Williams has always been this way, it truly is never over till it's over. They're one of the great teams at coming back. Their pressure is phenomenal. I thought their pressure, their full court pressure really bothered Butler in the second half. And hopefully we can learn from that. But the most important thing is that Butler came out and I've watched more of the segments of it. I haven't watched the whole thing from start to finish. I've watched it more segmented. But they made shots and they reversed the ball and they played well. But North Carolina never gave up. They just kept coming.
How important is poise from Yogi going to be tomorrow night?
It's important. It's important, and that he just continues to develop his all-around game and his confidence in the game. Those things are really important. So, I can't tell you how it's going to play out. It's going to be a fast-paced game. We just have to be really good defensively in transition.
How similar and how different are he and Page, basically?
I don't do comparisons. I leave that for other people. I mean, Page is really good. He's really good. He's really quick. He gets to the basket well, and he's shooting the ball. He's very confident in the break and very confident at the end of games. But as far as comparison's sake, I'm not going to do that.
Coach, this is the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Who's a better conference at this point?
I coach in the Big Ten. Seriously, you're asking me that?
Do you think the Big Ten's a better conference right now?
I work in the Big Ten, so obviously I think the Big Ten's a better conference. Okay. Go ahead.
Coming off, the big win you guys had last night of 48 points, how do you try to, get your guys focused back again for this tough matchup with UNC?
We're playing North Carolina. I think that takes care of itself.
Do you have any sense of how close it was, how close Cody was between Indiana and North Carolina?
No, I'm just worried about Indiana in that one. We knew Carolina and Butler and all those people were formidable foes in the recruiting process, but we focused on Indiana. You have to ask him that. See what he says.
How has this team handled being number one? Do you think that it means that much to them, or they seem like they don't?
No, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I think they're driven by other things. I think it's like I've said before. When they're low expectations, they respond to them certain ways. I think they just they respond to things, but they're driven by something far greater. They're a driven team, and we just keep trying to keep the pedal to the metal on improvement, and making sure that we walk out of there every day where every individual can feel like they've gotten better or have gotten better. And if our team is getting better, if they're getting better individually, then certainly they're going to get better as a team. And we try to. This is not a deal where you go back and, well, we did this in practice 32 last year, so let's go to this, and we did this 5 years ago, so we must do this. Every day is a different story. I haven't gone back to my old practice plans yet. Every day is about what does the team need today? What do they need today that's going to help them for down the road, but what do they need today? And I told them last night that coaches have to be in the moment, but coaches also have to be looking into the future and have a vision for that. Well, players have to be in the moment, but the best teams are always looking to at what they need to get better at in the future. And I think this team is got that vision going. I don't think they ever come in like okay, this is where we're at, and we just fix this, and everything else is good. They come in to get better. They come in to compete, and I think that's a good sign.
How much, better prepared is this team for, the size and length and the depth that you're going to see from them because of what you guys were able to do against Georgetown?
Well, I hope so, but we're giving up a lot of size. We gave up a lot of size against Georgia. We're going to give up size for a while. We've got guys that have a lot of size and length that aren't playing for us right now. So we're definitely going to give up that size. But as we keep reminding ourselves and our team, they got to guard us too. They got to guard us on the other end too. And so what we give up in size on one end, we need to take advantage of on the other end. And as long as we have good communication and tenacity and really good intelligence with our fundamentals, then that helps us. But we have to make adjustments. I mean, 6'8" guys on 6-foot guys, that's what we dealt with against Georgetown, and you just got to make adjustments to it. And some of it's possession by possession, some of it's half to half, some of it's timeout to timeout. We made some crucial adjustments, I thought, in the Georgetown game at halftime that helped us defensively, and that's what the game gives you. See, I mean, you constantly got to be looking at what that is, and then figure out how it applies to us. There'll come a day and time this year, hopefully, where we'll be able to do more things because our length will be greater. But I mean, I think we're going to be surprised at how long and athletic Carolina is. I think the fact that we played against Georgetown and even Georgia last week helps with that some. But I mean, we're not playing against anybody that gets up and down the court. We haven't played against anybody that gets up and down the court like these guys do.
Speaking of length, how's Derek doing in his recovery?
He's I think he's right on schedule. I think his attitude's great. It's like having an extra coach out there. He's definitely on schedule from what I can gather, and we'd expect to have him sometime after Christmas. I don't think I could speculate exactly if it'd be in the first game after Christmas, if it'd be the Big Ten season. I don't anticipate from what I've seen and what I've heard that it'll be before, but it'll be somewhere in there, I would think.
Are these guys playing at the level that you need them to be playing at to compete with North Carolina
I
at
don't
this
know.
point?
We'll find out tomorrow night. They just, as long as they're getting better, their attitudes are great. I know that. They're working hard, and I mean, they've been getting after it. We found ways to win games in New York, and last night they came out and they started making a statement on defense, and they were locked in, ready to go. And I mean, we went to zone the last 5-6 minutes of the game. We played zone, played some of our zone where we pick up full and then fall back to the zone. Some the last 10-11 minutes, and but these guys, they were locked in.
How far has that zone come in just the last 2 or 3 weeks where you've had to play it a little bit more, especially against you?
We missed the length. We missed the length that we would have with that. There's no question. We missed that wingspan. You know, they can cover a lot of ground. But down the road, it'll help us because we're playing guys different positions in it. I mean, Remy played the back of his own last night. He hadn't done that. He hadn't done that this year. He hadn't done it really last year. So those are things that are, you know, parts of the game that you can kind of, while you're playing the game, you can still work on something and get some value. We put Vic at the point for 3-4 minutes last night. So we got a chance to play at a high level, but we also got a chance to do a couple different things because you never know when it's gonna come up. But we're not into the defensive playbook the way that we will be down the road. We're not deep enough on the front line to do that. We're just not. I mean, that's no excuse. I mean, we're still getting better, but we're just not deep enough to do everything we want to do.
What kind of atmosphere do you expect tomorrow?
I think it'll be unbelievable. I think it'll be incredible. I think it'll be like the Kentucky atmosphere. There maybe won't be the build-up, obviously, because you had a week in between. But those people are already camped out. I mean, come on. I mean, I think it's good luck moving those people tonight. So they might have to go home, turn around, come right back around the building, and be back out there. So there was somebody in a sleeping bag this morning. I'm not sure if it was stuffed with pillows or if they were actually sleeping. And then I was walked out there, but I didn't want to get too close. And I saw the slippers, you know, the house slippers or whatever they were, the furry slippers sitting there. So I figured somebody actually was in there. So I didn't go any further.
Is there any concern with that energy that as a coach you have to try and rein things in with players at all? Or
I have no trouble coaching possession by possession. I have no trouble with that. So no, I don't worry about that.